Welcome to the Video Game Town Hall Meeting Podcast, where by listening you are a valued member of our community, a citizen with a front row seat. I'm your host, Jared Russo, and I have my gavel back. I don't feel necessarily inclined to use it right now because I have my good microphone, but I'm here today with the town sweeper, Grant Bruner.
Always be sweeping. That's what they say. ABS. That's what that stands for. You see it on your car and it says ABS, it means always be sweeping.
You are cleaning this town of all the junk.
Rudy Giuliani, everybody.
One day a rain will wash these streets clean. A real Travis Bickle type character. That's you, Grant.
One day a rain will wash this hair dye down my cheeks.
That's so gross. That's so unbelievably gross. Yuck.
Take it up with the Roodster.
All right, well, we're going to talk about some games that came out in July and the sort of summer drought that has been amorphous and quite a blob my whole life when it comes to the summer. Because the whole industry was always warped around E3 in May, June, and then it just seemed like everyone just took July and August off, even June off, and it was just like this dead zone of like, I guess we'll catch up on whatever. But now like games are coming out like throughout the year, but it's still like uneven. Although now like the fall's light. I don't know what's going on anymore. It seems like the industry has no clue.
It's been a decently packed summer, in my opinion. We have not lacked new games to talk about.
This is true, but are we going to lack games in October, November, December?
I don't think in October. I do think potentially November and December. I think because I built out a calendar in Asana for what we're covering, and I'm looking at it, and it's pretty good through July, which we're almost to the end of. Pretty good through August, pretty good through September, pretty good through October, and then it's like question mark, question mark, question mark. And then, to be fair, there's a bunch of games that don't have dates yet. So one would assume a non-trivial amount of those will end up in November and December. Or slip to the new year. Like, those are kind of your only options, right? But like, I'm looking at it and probably like, I don't know, a third of the games that I've put in as like worth potentially covering are still undated. Which is kind of wild considering that we're almost to August.
Anyone who is producing video games, which is a shrinking number, they were all spooked by GTA 6, and now they're like, damn it, we had our window, and now our game it is coming out around GTA 6, so now who knows what will be delayed or what will be pushed up or what will be taken out of the oven prematurely. But wouldn't it be nice to have a light year?
Mind's eye.
Oh, God. Wouldn't it be nice to have a light fall where it's like, oh, I actually have time to catch up on everything?
I guess, but then you would complain that there's a fall drought. There's no winning. It's either packed or it's man, where are all the video games?
I think I need like a few months of catch up so I can catch up on like TV shows and movies and books and other things, and I don't have to necessarily like grind through like, another like 100-hour RPG or whatever. Sounds exhausting.
I'm looking through these. The ones that remained that neither you or I put our names next to. Mafia: The Old Country, Drag Cross Drive, or Drag Drive, or Drag and Drive, Silent Hill F, Sonic Racing, Keeper, which I'm not going to touch, even though I love Double Fine. Hyrule Warriors, Kirby Air Riders. You didn't put your name next to Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is wild.
I mean, just because I didn't put my name next to it immediately does not mean that I'm not going to be interested in these things.
But you put your name next to so many games, which is what I'm saying.
Listen, I bit off a lot more than I could potentially chew or pay for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the 2026 ones, they're almost all you.
Well, it seems like the kind of games that get announced and dated are like the big AAA things that like I'm interested in already. It's not like they like announce like 2 years out. It's like, here's this tiny indie game about sad robots for Grant. It's like,
well, I'll tell you what, if you're taking point on these games, you got to get yourself an Elgato on the double.
Listen, there's a lot of things that I need to purchase, and it would be nice to be able to do that soon. Trust me. There's a lot of things I would like to do for this website, but that involves money. And as you know, money is hard to gather. No one hands it to you.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Often you have to work for it, which is unpleasant.
I mean, what percentage of these am I going to get to? I hope all of them, but like, let's be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I'll put my name next to Keeper. Why not? Like I'm sure everyone you and I know will be playing Kirby Air Riders if that actually does come out. I think that is such an overrated game.
It'll come out. I mean, like it could potentially slip to 2026, but that game is definitely going to come out.
We know people who are going to be playing Hyrule Warriors. Podcast guest Darren, he loves the Hyrule Warriors games. So
man, I am not feeling it.
Yeah,
anyway, what are we talking about? What are we talking about today? Enough looking forward to the future.
I would love to know your thoughts on Donkey Kong Bonanza because I've been playing a crap ton of it, and I'm going to be writing, maybe not necessarily a review, but I'm keeping a list of all the nitpicks I have because I have a lot of nitpicks. So I would love to know what you think of this game.
I am fully fucking charmed. I am in the 300 level. Not crazy far, but I don't know, 4 hours, something like that. I've played a decent amount of it. I played some on stream with Jack. You can find that on videogame.town. I would say that I'm fully charmed. I think that that Lil Pauline is incredible. I think that putting an anxious little girl as the pairing with Donkey Kong is inspired. I do think that there's probably some amount of Wreck-It Ralph-ification of Donkey Kong.
I'm gonna wreck it!
But he does wreck shit. I will say that I'm broadly in favor of the things that you're doing. You're smashing. I like that the bosses are kind of it's almost seamless. There's very little, it isn't, the bosses aren't locked away in you have to here's the boss room and you're okay, I gotta prepare myself. It's kind of seamless. Everything kind of feels like you're always moving, you're always flowing to the next thing. And even though you have to jump to the next level, you fall down a pit, everything just feels like it very much flows. There's not a lot of okay, you've checked all these boxes, you're done with the level. It's kind of it feels like you're constantly sliding down a slide. You know what I mean?
I spend way too much time in each level trying to do literally as much as I can. So I have no I can't tell how long I've been playing. I can't tell how far I am into it. I've reached sub-level 700, but I'm still going back to 300 and 400 to complete those levels, which by the way, each level gets better and better. They really kind of started off on not the worst foot, but I look back and I'm you gave us a weird water level to start? That's okay.
I don't know. I feel it's good. And I also just turned on, I talked about it a little bit on the stream, but I just turned on the assist mode, which just always gives you, it always keeps the pointer on hey, here's your next objective, so keep things going. Which doesn't mean that I'm always going there. Sometimes I'm going off and I'm okay, well, I really want these fossils so I can buy a sick tie or something like that. But it's nice because especially it can be disorienting when you're first in a level and you've dug giant tunnels through a bunch of rock. You're where the fuck am I? And so it's kind of just good to have here you go. If you want to progress, if you're ready to progress, here's where you need to go.
Have you reset the terrain yet?
I haven't. I did see that. I figure that means you're stuck. You've got yourself into a pickle.
I have not once needed to reset the terrain, but there have been some of the challenge rooms where you have to try to create a path for things to fall and roll into a basket, and I've had to kind of exit and enter, but that's much more small scale than resetting the entire level.
Yeah, I have not gotten myself into a pickle digging around yet, because Donkey Kong can climb pretty much everything. It's really only specific surfaces
slippery surfaces.
Slippy, yeah. And I do love the amount of dynamic animations and custom animations for specific scenarios. The way that Donkey Kong slides down of a slippery surface is incredible.
Dude, the art and the colors and the teleport, and there's so many things that make me smile. There's an ice cream ice world that gets slowly invaded by lava the deeper you go. That's really great. There's so much about this that it's yes, everyone agrees it's unbelievable, it's first class, this is the Odyssey team. And it seems I could actually 100% this game where it seemed impossible to do that for Odyssey because there were so many moons and so many of them were okay, I'm not doing this jump rope or volleyball for 100, get out of here. But with this, it's I can actually buy the maps and find all the bananas and fossils in each world and complete it and then move on. It seems more doable, but I just have this ongoing list of nitpicks, man. I can't help it.
I mean, listen, I have nitpicks with literally every game. The games that I love the most, I have a bunch of nitpicks. So that doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, of course. I never don't have nitpicks.
But like the perfect scores of this game, like it being called a masterpiece.
Jared, what the fuck? We're doing this again? We're doing this fucking again?
My brain keeps just
stop your take your brain out. Take it out.
I want to every day, Grant.
Knock that shit off. Who gives a shit that RGN gave it a 10? I cannot believe we're doing this for a second episode.
I know. They show Cranky and Ramby, the rhino. I want to ride Ramby. They will not let me ride Ramby.
I tried it on the stream. I tried to do that. And I also, the other problem is I did a little sing. I'm like, oh, maybe you have to sing. And he doesn't even do a little dance. I really wish that there was like that when you sang next to the rhino that he would jam out.
I want to ride my animal friends. I mean, this game wants you to turn into animal friends.
I've not gotten any of that.
I would say half of the upgrades I'm like not interested in. They seem useless to me.
I don't know. I'm pretty into the the Bananza mode.
Yeah, I mean, some of those are good, but like when it comes to just like OG Donkey Kong, which is most of the time, I'm like, I don't need to like spin, jump, or like do half these things. Like I'll just do the health and the strength and the sonar every time because those are actually practically helpful.
There's also a good animation when he spins around. He does that. You spin the left stick and then jump.
I've never needed it. I'm getting really good at like not sequence breaking, but like kind of getting to places I shouldn't be. Like you roll off and then you jump coyote time off a cliff and then you roll again, or you can use like the surf on a rock thing to sort of like go further or go higher than you should. So I like getting caught in places where it's like clearly the game wanted me to wait until I got a certain ability, but I was like, nah, I'll just speed run, get my way to wherever I need to go, which is cool. I like that.
I think it's a great game. I'm having a really good time with it. A little bit frustrating because I do have so many other games that I need to be playing and kind of progressing, and this seems to be longer than I initially thought. Like I'm looking, let me bring up last time I looked at it, it was something like 30 or 40 hours on how long to beat.
Is that for like 100% completion?
No, let me see. Okay. So it is, the main plus extra is 22 hours, and then completionist is 39 hours.
That seems much more accurate.
Okay. So, I feel good about it. I also am worried that like enough things are going to pile up that I leave it behind, or at least pause it and then come back later. But I am having a good time, and I think it looks really good. I've not really had a ton of the slowdown yet. Like I've seen a handful of times. I think there's one time in the stream where I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of slowdown. But I think mostly it's run okay. It's my understanding that perhaps that maybe gets worse the further into the game you get.
Yeah, a little bit, not like anything drastic. So it'll happen every now and again, or you'll be stuck in the middle of something and the camera will sort of out, or like those like very minor technical hiccups will occur. Although I'm at sub level 700 and I'm still only at like 3 out of 5 stars for like environment strength, and so I'm like, when am I getting to the 4 and 5 star stuff? Like, how long is this game?
I've seen people talk about at least level like 1100.
Ooh, banana.
So there's the banana, which is also 10 out of 10. I love banana.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the music is hit and miss, but the really good stuff is whenever they play old DK music, and I'm like, man, you had the goods. They were Donkey Kong Country music, my god. All time good.
And also like during the Rare era where they're doing like the Grant Kirkhope stuff is listen, is the DK rap terrible? Yes. Is it also maybe the greatest song man has ever created? Yes.
For some reason I showed my fiance the DK rap. She had never heard it before, and I said, that's a lie. You watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. He literally
they do the DK.
He literally raps when he first gets introduced. It's on YouTube.
It's also like, I want to say like they didn't even like credit fucking Grant Kirkhope in the credits, which sucks. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that they're not allowed to use the thing that they paid someone to make. Like, yeah, they're allowed to use the DK rap, but put them in the fucking credits, you guys.
Are you at all excited for Super Mario World, the movie, the DK movie, or this live action Zelda?
No, I couldn't give less of a fuck about them. Okay. I watched that first Super Mario Brothers movie eventually when it came to VOD, and I rented it for $4, and I said, meh, that was okay, but goddamn do I not give a shit about any further movies of that ilk.
It's fine. Perfectly acceptable. I liked the suicidal existential Luma. That was my favorite part.
I really wish that they had done something. Like, it just felt like this is the minimal shippable product. Like, it just seems like they did enough. Chris Pratt
He's
is
so
not
cool.
good. It's not like it's embarrassing. Like, it's not like it's terrible, but he's not good.
He's the worst part of the entire thing.
Yeah, like, it's not... Nobody's doing a great job here.
Jack Black's doing a great job. I think Charlie Day's doing a great job.
I also just, like, if I was a teenager, or if I was, like, 14, I would probably go, like, oh, yeah, Zelda movie. But it's, like, nothing about the Zelda games have, like, the story that, like, really needs to be told on the silver screen. Like, there is none of it is, like, that wildly compelling just from a raw storytelling perspective, especially not when it's, like, 90 minutes to 2 hours. Cram this shit in. It just seems like you're just begging to be disappointed.
It seems like it'll be bad because it's Sony, and Sony doesn't really make good movies unless they, like, give Lord and Miller, like, free reign, which they're not doing anymore.
Are you trying to tell me that Madam Web is not a cinematic masterpiece of our time?
I mean, if you're into, like, the Razzies, maybe. The casting, they seem perfect. I have no idea who they are, but they're young and good looking and British. That's great. The music will probably do most of the heavy lifting if they just straight up use, like, the OG scores from previous games.
I guess, but at that point, why not just have, like, why not release a 2-hour, like, concert movie, right? Like, just, like, here, hey, we filmed a live performance of an orchestra performing the Zelda music. It's in theaters now.
We know the reason. Capitalism. That doesn't make as much money as a movie.
Like, I don't know, maybe there's a reason to talk about it for the website, but, like, for me, I couldn't be colder on the idea of a Zelda movie.
What if they cast Mads Mikkelsen as Ganon?
No.
Who would they need to cast as Ganon to get
Paul
you in?
Paul Giamatti is the correct answer for Ganon.
Wait, Danny DeVito.
No, every time there's a fan casting, it's Danny DeVito.
Yes!
I think Paul Giamatti is the right, like, he has the right face.
Listen, you're not going to find a bigger fan of Paul Giamatti than this guy talking to the microphone right now, right here. I'm just saying, like, why not just, like...
Lady in the Water.
Oh, my God. Why not just be, like...
I saw, like...
Hunter Schafer, you're an elf. Like, you can be Sheik, and we'll let Danny DeVito be Ganon.
Hunter Biden.
Now we're talking. Rosie
and Hunter
O'Donnell.
Biden's laptop as Impa.
Let's move on. I've been playing the most joyous thing I've touched in a very long time, and it's not Donkey Kong Bonanza. Do you know what it is?
Hardcore pornography.
No, it is the pure nostalgic rush of Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk. That's not the word. The words are amoeba, but it sounds like they're singing Tony Hawk.
I played a significant amount of when they remastered 1 and 2, but Activision is owned by Microsoft, which is under boycott by BDS, so I shan't be playing 3 and 4 anytime soon.
Tony Hawk 3 is still the greatest game ever made.
But is it better than 1 and 2?
Yeah. It is.
I don't know, man.
I'm sure. Tony Hawk 3 is the best one of those. And now it's clumped in with a corpse of 4 and a bunch of new levels. And I'm playing as Michelangelo, and he's doing he's doing cowabungas. It's fucking great. But yes, Michelangelo from the recent Mutant Mayhem film is in the game. Bam Margera is an unlockable character. I'm not paying them money for Doomslayer or Revenant. In fact, I don't think I've paid for a Microsoft game in forever, because my brother and I split Game Pass, so we sort of just like get everything day one, and I don't have to sort of give them an extra cent. But Game Pass, like the whatever bundle, like it comes with online play, so like it's sort of like a necessity. But man, Tony Hawk, goddamn best. It's not going to be number 1 on my Game of the Year list. It's not going to be a Game of the Year contender, but like it is so just like, I remember when this came out and it was sliced bread. It was like, Jesus Christ, we figured out something completely new, and it is so addicting and so just zen and perfect and brilliant. And the soundtrack, which they sort of gutted, but I mean, I'm listening to podcasts while I play this, so like you can also just pull up a Spotify playlist of the original soundtrack. Like, it's not a huge lift, so like I understand if you're going to sacrifice something like music rights, but they added a bunch of good new songs. So, but it is just a dream to play, and it's just like, I want to credit it for what the originals accomplished as well, because it seems like in this day and age there are no arcade or sports games that are like this, where you're just like, you just mindlessly play this for hours and just have a ball, and it's just, it's just like riding a bike. You're just like, I remember this. This is fantastic.
I was just posting about how they need SSX, like put it on Nintendo Switch Online.
What are the new GameCube NSO games coming? Aren't there like, didn't they like tell us like which ones are still showing up?
they put out the soccer one, right?
Yeah, Mario Strikers. So Sunshine's not on there. There's no Fire
No.
Emblem. There's no Pokemon. Luigi's Mansion is probably going to be like one of the ones coming up soon.
But also, it's a little bit weird because they remade Luigi's Mansion for the DS, and then they remade Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Switch from the 3DS. So why are we going to be stuck with the original Luigi's Mansion and not the DS upgrades? Their strategy for upgrades and nostalgia stuff is weird to me.
It's psychotic.
Wind
Double
Waker,
Dash.
like we have the Wind Waker. Oh, they should definitely put out Double Dash. I mean, like it's a little bit weird, and they probably should wait a bit for Double Dash because they just put out Mario Kart. But yeah, listen, Double Dash is really fucking good. I will say, I wanted before you move away, Bam Margera is from Westchester, Pennsylvania, very close to the Delaware border. Not only is my wife from Southeast PA, but I also dated a woman who was from Westchester specifically, not just like adjacent to Westchester, but from Westchester. And let me tell you, in the way that I have said that like everybody from New Jersey has a Bruce Springsteen story, everybody from let's say Southeast PA outside of Philly has a Bam Margera story, and they mostly involve alcohol.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I was also just thinking like maybe Skies of Arcadia, Chibi Robo, the Wario game, Mario Baseball. There's a ton that they could add from GameCube.
Skies of Arcadia, like what the fuck are they doing with that? Like it's such nostalgia bait. Why has it been 2 decades and they haven't touched Skies of Arcadia? It's Sky Pirates. What the fuck?
Stupid people run these companies. And also, I'm writing all this down for a future article, so don't steal my ideas, please. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I have specifically told you to write about Skies of Arcadia.
I've never even touched that game.
It's good. It's really good.
I know. I've always wanted to.
The Tales of Symphonia. They did an HD version of that at some point.
Yeah, they did, but still, I mean, you can throw us a bone.
Weirdly, like I think it's
Metroid Prime 2 and 3.
The GameCube was pretty decent for JRPGs, and I think that because it lacked Square, like Square was not really putting out their games there, that it gets kind of forgotten. But there's like a decent number of JRPGs on the GameCube.
They're an actual Final Fantasy, like Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles, but it's not like yes, but it's not like it's not a real Final Fantasy.
That's
like
fine.
it's an action RPG multiplayer thing that I loved, but it's not anything like the mainline games that they were putting out at the time.
Oh my god, dude, put Pac-Man Versus on. Do you remember Pac-Man Versus?
I do remember Pac-Man Versus because I was a weirdo who had a game, the Game Boy GameCube Connect cable, and I fucking loved it. And oh my god, the Zelda game,
Four Swords
used it. Yeah, Four Swords Adventures. Yeah. Fucking loved it. I played through all of those games. Like any opportunity to do that, I played through that in my misspent youth, and I loved it, and it also cost way too much money.
Yes, I very distinctly remember in like 7th and 8th grade, people who have been on this podcast and will be on this podcast in the future, we would get together and Mario was the narrator for Pac-Man Versus, and he would say shit like, "Pac-Man eat the power pellet, yahoo!" And you're just like, what is Mario doing in this? Like, but it was so great. I remember
that part. Like, I bought that fucking bad Pac-Man game because it came, like, that 3D Pac-Man game because it came with Pac-Man Versus. And I bought it and I played it. I don't remember Mario being the narrator.
Yep, it's great
stuff. I must have driven that out of my memories. Just Charles Martinet. Oh no, not a ghost.
Speaking of ghosts and shadowy figures, I bought Assassin's Creed Shadows. I played like 3 to 4 hours, and I said, "Why am I doing this?" And then I uninstalled it. And I never touched it again. Is that like your experience?
So when it came out, I had put it on my reserves in the Delaware library system, the wonderful statewide library system here in Delaware. And I said, I'm not going to buy Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm pretty out on Assassin's Creed, and sign me up, ship me the PS5 disc. When you get a chance. Unfortunately, it was right as Donkey Kong was coming out. So I have put 2.5, 3 hours into it. And I have some notes, and it's been mostly negative. The introduction is really, really slow. So you start out, they give you 20 minutes as character Yasuke, who is based on a historical figure who was brought to Japan by Portuguese priests as a slave, and then stays and becomes a samurai. And I think that's cool. That's a cool thing to tell a story about. And then they're like, okay, but he's around, but Naoe is the main character. I think that, the game has very much expressed to me in these openings where it's like, he's around. He is playable. But this game is about Naoe. And she just seems to be a lady from a village. It seems to be her backstory. It's fine. I don't think that she is particularly compelling. Nothing about her backstory stuff has compelled me to... I mean, whatever, I guess she's a lady ninja. I guess that's cool. The menus are so sluggish. It's miserable to navigate them. And I was playing through and I got a skill point and I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to open that fucking menu. And it was like, the idea that you get a skill point and you're not like, oh hell yeah, what am I gonna upgrade? It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to press the fucking options button and deal with this fucking bullshit. I fucking hate this, which is not what you want the experience to be.
Don't you love menus designed for PCs? And everyone went, well, Destiny did it, so let's just copy paste what they did. And no one decided to listen to any complaints.
So slow. Even you just press the trigger buttons to go between the menus, and it is just like a solid 2 seconds between them. It just feels so shitty to use all of the menus. And the other thing that drives me crazy is that so many games, especially Ubisoft games, have moved to this press and hold for everything, and it just makes your game feel substantially less responsive. So you're like, okay, I want to do this, and then it's like, oh, okay, that didn't register, so I gotta push, and then hold for like a second, and then it will do what it is. And so all it does is just make your game feel like, oh, this button press didn't register, that sucks.
Yeah, I can't even describe what it was, but I was just playing it and I was like, I feel like I've done all of this before and none of it was satisfying. And I was just like, no, I get it. And then I heard a story that really solidified things in my brain where I was like, did you know that when Assassin's Creed 1 was a hit, they were thinking about doing a different design for Ezio, and the marketing team was like, you have to keep the white hooded thing, that's their outfit, that's their costume. All assassins have to wear that. That's how we brand Assassin's Creed. And then the narrative team was like, but if they all wore the same thing, wouldn't that be really obvious if they're trying to blend it and be assassins? And the marketing team overrode them, and so that's why they all sort of wear the same sort of shtick. And I was like, Ubisoft is clearly the focus testing marketing driven company of our nightmares, and I just couldn't get that out of my head. What was going on in March that knocked out AC as Shadows for me? I'll never go back.
It does work with Ezio. I will say that white hood from Altair looks good on Ezio.
Yeah,
I don't think any of the other characters need the white hood, but that white hood looks fucking sick on Ezio.
I mean the one they gave Connor in 3 was also cool looking, but by the time they got the 4, it was wow, they're really not trying to blend in these assassins because they got to wear their uniform.
Yeah, here's the weird thing. I have been really hot and cold on Assassin's Creed. I think I might be among the hottest on that original Assassin's Creed, and I think some of it is I really loved that oh man, this is a game set in the Middle East, during the Crusades. Holy shit, we'd never get this, or if we get it, it's going to be a war game, that's for fucking wargaming perverts. But so I'm this is a third-person action game set in the Crusades. This rules. And even though it's pretty repetitive, but at the time I think it worked. And then they blew it out in the Ezio sub-series. And then Assassin's Creed 3, I fucking, I wanted to love it so bad because I love, revolutionary America, where it's colonial into revolution. It's such a great setting for, especially, intrigue and, doing Templar shit. It's so good. And then I think that that's kind of when it's when the Ubisoft formula started to, really run dry. Where it's we've done this too many times. Even though I really love that setting, it's kind of I don't know, you guys. And then Black Flag, obviously is the thing that revitalized that series completely. I skipped Unity because I was like, I'm out of here. I played a little Syndicate, but I was like, no, thank you. Origins and Odyssey, man, holy shit, I love Odyssey. Was my game of the year it came out. I loved that game. It felt like they were the first big AAA game to be like, to learn from Witcher 3 and deliver a very like Witcher 3 inspired game. And set in Greece, and they obviously they are leaning into like the mythological aspects of it in many ways, like you're fighting a Cyclops and a Minotaur and blah 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 blah. I thought that Odyssey is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed of all time. Played Valhalla and was like, this seems like substantially worse Odyssey. Like they kind of found like a really great thing with Odyssey, and they're like, what if it was even bigger and none of the charm was there? Like, what if the character didn't fucking matter? Because like the whole thing is like, Cassandra in Odyssey is like a real character that's like fleshed out and like you feel has like emotions and a motive and like personality, and Origins too. And then in Valhalla, it's just like, whatever, it's a Viking. You don't need to worry about that. And then I was all the way out in Mirage, and I think I continue to be out with Shadows.
I have also played every single AC game. I should love these because of like the different historical settings, their third-person action, platformy, climby, stealth things, and all of those mechanics I love individually. But it just happened to like really fall off a cliff after Brotherhood for me. I even like the multiplayer in Brotherhood. And then I loved Origins, but like they all had their various issues, and it never quite gelled with like the combat or like the collectibles, or like they kept changing how like climbing worked. Like with Syndicate, they just gave you like a grapple hook and you just shot up to the top, and they just never coalesced. Like it never had like great stealth. It was a weird like hide in the grass and wait and eavesdrop kind of stuff. And I was like, I just want Splinter Cell. Like give me the tools that Splinter Cell gave you. And then when it came in an open world RPG, those first two, Origins and Odyssey, were excellent. And then it just became bloat. And then I was just like, I just don't care anymore. Like, this is not Witcher 3. Like, it's the same kind of stuff and the gear. And I can't care anymore. So that whole company is completely sunk as far as I'm concerned. Like, whatever they're doing in the future, it's like, oh, cool, like witches in Salem. Great. I don't know what they could do gameplay wise to like pull me back in or to bring in enough people to like keep their financials afloat. It's like the whole thing is it's like it's done. Like you guys are done. Move on.
Yeah, I didn't play the most recent Far Cry because the Far Cry before that I didn't like very much. So it's like
6 is worse than 5, which is worse than 4, which is worse than 3.
4, yeah. Well, I think 4 is pretty good. I think they still have.
Oh, it's still pretty good, but it's not 3.
I played Ghost of Tsushima, which is set a couple of hundred years before, so the tech is not quite there. But then later this year we have Ghost of Yotei, which is very close in time. Like this is early. Ghost of Yotei is set early 1600s, and I believe that Assassin's Creed Shadow is late 1500s, so it's like pretty close in terms of time. Also, it's kind of wild in that like they said something in the first couple of hours of Shadows where it's like, get my tobacco knife, and I'm like, had tobacco made its way to Japan already in like the late 1500s?
I guess so. You got to smoke that dope, dude.
Obviously it starts with like, hey, here are Portuguese traders or whatever, so like there's obviously like trade. Like I'm not saying that like that their trade doesn't exist with Japan with like, you know, Europe, but I was like, oh damn, is there like a tobacco culture already in the 1500s in Japan?
You can't stop that wacky tobacco.
No, it's not even the wacky kind. It's the regular, it gives you cancer kind.
I don't think the settings of the time period like being like repetitive between these games is what gets it for me. It's like the gameplay. It's like, what am I doing? Is this Neo 3 or is this just another like ho-hum sword fighting game?
Yeah, I also don't think the combat's very good.
Yeah.
I'm having a bad time with the combat. Like, not that it's like crazy hard, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm like, I can't wait till I'm done fighting these guys so I can continue doing what I was doing before.
I'm probably never going to go back to playing AC Shadows. It was a total waste of money.
Well, this is your lesson. Use the New York library system and don't pay money for games that you're not going to, or like, if you're not there to like support the developers, then like, yeah, use the library, get a fucking disc while it still exists, because they're definitely working on trying to kill discs, and any capacity of using options like returning games or like trading games or using libraries,
selling them on the black market.
They're doing their damnedest to get rid of that entirely. So, but while it exists, use a library for games like Assassin's Creed, where you go, I'm probably not going to spend much time with this, so I might as well not pay them money.
Here's the other problem. When I buy something, am I literally directly supporting, I mean, at big studios, at big developers? Am I really supporting the people making the game, or because they've already been paid because they're salaried? Like who is my money going to? That's the other problem.
Well, I do think that like it's a little bit of a complicated thing, because yes, obviously it's going disproportionately to shareholders and executives. That's true. However, when games from big companies don't sell the numbers that they expect, that means they start cutting jobs really fast.
It seems like they're going to do that regardless. It doesn't seem like it matters how much you sell. They're just going to do that because they need to do that. They just need to clear head count.
It's gonna get it's definitely worse when you underperform. Let me tell you, as a BioWare fan, and BioWare now basically doesn't exist, or like it exists on paper. But like most of the people that you know and care about who made BioWare games are no longer employed there.
That's the case with most studios. That's the case with Bungie and with 343 and with Naughty Dog and Insomnia. It's like most of the people who like made those things have moved on. They're either working on their own indie stuff. They've left the industry. There's brain drain. I mean, that's inevitable. Well, maybe not inevitable, but that's life. But it just doesn't seem like the vote with your wallet thing ever works, because there's like tens of millions of people who are voting with their wallets to like support trends or genres or other things that I will never think about, whether that be a MOBA or a World of Tanks or a Roblox or, you know, like FIFA Ultimate Team packs. Like, it's just like the vote with your wallet stuff. We're such in a minority of like what we want, which is basically what the industry was 25 years ago. Like, that is never, ever, ever coming back. And there's nothing we can do about it. So it just seems like really indie games are like pretty much like the present and the future for us, with the occasional like Microsoft owns Obsidian, or they own Double Fine, or Sony owns like whatever Insomniac will make. But Insomniac will probably only make Marvel X-Men games like going forward. Like, it doesn't seem like they're going to be making anything else. Like, there's no Ratchet coming. Yeah. It's just Wolverine, and then after that it's probably just X-Men. And
it's also really disappointing where like I was thinking about Sucker Punch because Ghost of Yotei. I was thinking about it because I was playing Shadows, and I'm like, oh man, is Ghost of Yotei gonna come out and I'm gonna be like making frowny faces? But like those Infamous games, like the first ones, the PS3 ones are disappeared. Like, they're in PS3 jail.
Yeah. I mean, it's because games take way too long to make. You will never see a studio pump out like a Resistance and then like a Fuse and then an Overstrike, like, or 3D platformers, 2D, like these things take way too long. And until they completely shorten the development time to like make more risk or have multiple projects going on, it's just like Arcane only makes Blade. That's the only thing they're making, and who knows what'll happen afterwards. Maybe they'll just get shut down,
or if it even ships, or does Microsoft fucking fire everybody?
Like anything Bungie touches, like ever since they stopped making Halo, it's like I've been so disinterested in it. It's almost like losing the studio, because it's just like they're just doing a thing I'll never want to play. So it's just like, that's it, they're gone. Like, Bungie's dead to me.
Yeah, it's like, what if we remade Halo 1? What if we remade Halo 1?
It was so heartbreaking to read in one of the Schreier books that like the top of Bungie, when they finally got free of Microsoft, and Microsoft was like, be careful what you wish for going to Activision. And they were like, what do we make next? And they wanted to do the opposite of Halo. So they wanted third person, they wanted fantasy, and then it just turned into another first person sci-fi game. And like one of the you know, like the leads on the game dev side was just like, we're just doing the same thing we did before. Like, I thought we were trying to do something different. And it was like, well, we know how to make a sci-fi first person shooter. And he was like so uninterested. He's like, what the hell happened? Like, why did we leave? Like, we could have just stayed and just kept doing, you know, with good financial. And he just left. He was just like, why even bother? Like, we're just making another first person sci-fi game. which is worse than Halo.
I mean, they did do a thing that then a bunch of places tried to copy. Like, a bunch of studios tried to do the Destiny formula for like 15 years.
But is the Destiny formula, was that ever even that successful? Because, like, don't even get me started on all the headaches that came with, like, developing those two games and all, like, the weird DLCs and the retconning and, like, content's locked and they had to, like, redo Peter Dinklage. And, like, now it just seems like that studio, it sold for a gazillion. There's no ROI. And it's like, they're liable to be slashed because, like, who the hell wants to buy Marathon? It's just, like, such a weird, it's like, oh, yeah, Destiny was successful. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was successful. I just think, like, it was successful. People liked it, people played it, and it made money, but it was not a sustainable, this can function forever. Which is, like, the only thing that, it's like the only thing that companies want. We're like, what if can we make a machine where you can put out a new game every year, and people give us money every year? And you're like, no? Then they're like, we're not interested.
Dude, what happens, like, to EA if, like, well, I mean, college football is coming back, and I think they're working on college basketball, but, like, if it was, like, Madden or FIFA started to wane, which is, like, kind of sort of happening, like, they're toast, they're done. There's no Respawn, there's no Titanfall, there's no Jedi games. Like, the cost of licenses for these, non-video game IPs, God, this is just turning into horror stories. Would you like to mention anything that you're writing before we move on to our quiz?
I recently posted a post for Grant's Gems. It's a Kentucky Route Zero. It's called Grant's Gems. Then we buried the horses, where I talk about what Kentucky Route Zero means to me, why it's the only video game that's ever made me cry. It's deeply meaningful to me. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I really, really love that. And I hope that you read that, and I hope that you go play Kentucky Route Zero, because it's an all-timer. It took a long time. Like, Act 1 came out in 2013, and it did not finish until right before the pandemic hit the United States. The other thing that I'm currently working on, this is something that I had actually been thinking about writing up before for, like, grantbruno.com, my personal website. It's something that I've been thinking about writing up before we even made this website, and then you wrote something that kind of, like, sparked me, like, oh, I should go back and redo this. You had done a roundup of some of the best speedruns at Games Done Quick. And I wanted to do some of the videos that I use to fall asleep to, which are not speedruns, they're video essays. And there's some, like, I have creators that are my favorite creators for video essays, and when they create something new, I love it. And I think, so a great example, Sarah Zed, which is pronounced, it's the letter Z, but pronounced Zed because she's Canadian. She just did one on cheating in chess. But because it's relatively new, I have not, it's not soothing enough for me. It's not something that I have heard 100 times already, so I can't fall asleep to it. I have to fall asleep to some of her earlier stuff. Like, there's a great one where she's talking about somebody who's pretending to claim, or, who claims that they wrote a notoriously bad fan fiction. That's a great thing that I use to fall asleep. There's a handful of them, and so I wanted to write that up. Sleepy time videos, they're video essays that I use to fall asleep, because they're really good, so I've watched them numerous times, and then it's soothing. They lull you to sleep.
Yeah, I like to pay attention for the video essays. It's the speed runs and, like, the sort of, like, the background noise, or, like, the, just like, okay, go do donations, and that's when I'm like, now I will close my eyelids.
Right, no, I definitely am paying attention, but when you do it for the 80th time, you no longer have to pay attention. You fall asleep.
All right, are you ready for our game?
I am ready.
We are playing Video Game 20 Questions. You have 20 questions to ask to figure out what game I am thinking of.
Okay. Is it a game made in an English-speaking country?
It is a game made in an English-speaking country, yes. What country that is, I cannot tell you.
Okay. Is it an action-adventure game?
It is not action-adventure.
Is it a puzzle game?
No, but you're like within the within the ballpark of, like, brainy genres.
Okay.
Actually, I should be counting how many questions you have. Hold on. So you said English, not action, not puzzle. So that's 3 questions. Okay.
Is it a Metroidvania?
Not Metroidvania, no.
Okay. Did it come out in the last 10 years?
It did not come out in the last 10 years.
Did it come out in the 90s?
It did come out in the 90s.
Okay. Is it a console game?
It eventually did come to consoles, but I would definitely not think of this as a console game whatsoever.
Okay. Is it Civilization?
It is not Civilization, but you are red hot.
Okay. Is it an RTS?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is not an RTS. Man, is it real close to that kind of a thing? I don't want to give too much
away.
Is it
Age of Empires?
Not RTS. It is not Age of Empires, which isn't an RTS. This is not an RTS, but like, God, you're like, don't try to spearfish with genre or whatever. Like, just keep asking questions to give you more information, I should say.
Okay. Is it a sci-fi setting?
Not sci-fi, no.
How many more questions do I have?
10, 11. You have 9 questions left.
Is it a historical game?
No, not historical.
It's not sci-fi and it's not historical. Is it fantasy?
Not fantasy.
Those are the ones that people mostly make. Like, not to say that there are, like, obviously there are other ways that, but those are most of them. It's like 90%.
This is not an RTS.
The real, right. But like, okay. Is it, it's not puzzle.
No.
And it's not an RTS.
No.
But it's close.
Yeah. And it's definitely like, I would say this is like a primarily PC game, but the reason I picked it is because I believe it came to mobile and Switch like really recently, which sort of made me go, it's not Myst.
But is that really, really fucking close?
No.
Not as close. It's not an RTS. Is it turn-based?
It's not turn-based.
So it's not real time. It's not real time strategy.
No,
and it's not turn based. So it's not like XCOM or something.
No.
Fuck, dude, this is hard. Like the idea that I'm like right there. There's
a particular genre that if you were to like get what it was, the light bulb would go off in your head.
PC genres in the 90s that are not RTSs.
It's not a point and click, I'll give you that.
Okay. I figured it wouldn't be if you were doing it, so I kind of had like ruled that out entirely.
This is a nostalgic game that just came to Switch and iOS, I think, which is kind of crazy. I don't know how you.
Which is kind of why I wanted to. I went Myst, because like they just keep fucking re-releasing Myst over and over again, and it's kind of puzzly, and it's not quite fantasy, and it's not history.
Think about the biggest like franchises ever.
Oh God, the biggest franchises ever,
like the best-selling
on PC.
Thing. Yeah, that'll put you on the right path at least.
Okay, is it Call of Duty?
No, not even close to Call of Duty. No, absolutely not.
Okay, like the biggest thing, because like that first Call of Duty was a PC game.
That's true,
man,
but that didn't come out in the 90s.
Yeah, it's true. It came out in it like almost the 90s. Like it was the very early aughts. Oh my God, I need how many more questions do I get?
17, 18, 19, 20. So I guess you have 4 more questions.
Okay, is it related to the military in any way?
Not even close.
Okay. Is it Tetris?
Not Tetris.
Okay.
You have 2 questions and then a sort of final guess.
Okay. PC games, it's the biggest shit in the world.
There's still a lot of these types of games that come out, although like the term is very loose when they use it. Even the genre itself is the name of a series that I think is maybe the biggest one of these.
Is it like I think this is maybe a little cheaty in that I'm combining 2 things in one. Is it like card or like a billiards or like you know like those kind of games, like old physical stuff?
Not even close.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
So you have 1 question and then 1 sort of final guess. Here is how I will help you out. What if I were to tell you that the franchise that I think is one of the biggest things ever is The Sims, and that this is a simulation game?
Oh,
that's what I was trying to point you towards. It's a simulation game. What kind of simulation? I'm not going to tell you.
Is it Roller Coaster Tycoon?
This is Roller Coaster Tycoon. That is correct.
Okay. Okay.
It came out on March 22nd, 1999 from Chris Sawyer, who I believe is from Scotland. And it came to Switch and iOS like within the last few weeks.
Is it a good port?
I have no idea. How would you control such a thing? Like, you need a mouse, right?
Yeah, but you can use your one, a touchscreen, and then 2, if you're not using the touchscreen, use the controller.
I can't fathom using that. I used to play so much Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2. Oh my God.
I played a fair bit. It's wild, I didn't even think of The Sims.
The simulation genre, like, SimCity and, like now it's like
sure.
Power Wash Simulator or like lawnmower truck driver simulator.
No, I got so hung up on Civ, and you're like, oh man, you're so close with Civ, and I'm like, well, fuck, shit, what's adjacent to Civ?
Because you're like isometric in the sky and you're controlling things and it's like a city.
Yeah, kind of. It's like not like I would argue like the genres are pretty different, but like in terms of like the way it looks, yes, it's pretty close.
And it's not turn based, but there is like a year and you can pause and
Yeah, it's pause and play.
Yeah.
Because you can manipulate. I should have asked, is it pause and play? I don't know if that would have gotten me there, but I should have asked if it was pause and play.
But that's a good one though, right?
It's good, and I don't think without that hint I would have gotten there, because I was just so far off from Sims.
It came out for the Xbox in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I think the scores.
I also got really far down a Myst hole, where I'm like, this sounds like you're talking about Myst. Is he talking about Riven?
Yeah, Riven. No, I don't even think I know what Riven looks like. I did play Myst when it came out, and I was like, this is fucking weird. Let me go back to Doom.
Yeah, God, I mean, like, I like Myst in terms of here's a weird thing that like it is something that like your grandpa can play, and I think that's cool. But I think so much of like the design of Myst I find off-putting.
It's crazy how popular Myst was.
It is crazy
it's
to
insane.
Imagine. I didn't ask, but I was like, is it an FMV game? is there full motion video here? And then you were like, then you said something along the lines of like, they're still making games like this. Well, okay, well, it's not an FMV game.
No, but that would have been a good guess, but it would have just sort of ruled out another thing.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a toughie. But I did play. I mean, I definitely spent a significant amount of time playing all the like sim adjacent stuff. Like obviously like the Maxis games, but then also things like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Have you ever played any of the 2-point games?
No, but I've seen people play them. I think that part of my life is over. I used to play a lot of Age of Empires when I was in elementary school. Like there was a lot more PC things I was willing to try, like FMV games and like real-time strategy and stuff. Like I would play more things, but then as I sort of aged into consoles, I was like, I want to just play more console games. And I never really had a PC. I never had a PC in high school. I never had one in college. I kind of don't have one now. Like I never had a PC like good enough, so I never really got fully into those. So
well, they're on consoles.
Here's the problem with MMOs and with a lot of that stuff. It's like if there's just like too much junk on the screen, like there's too much like on the bottom or like tiny things everywhere. It's just like
you're just immune to reading. Let's be clear.
I can't do it.
You can't read.
I'm a simple UI man. Simple, minimalistic.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up.
Okay, let's wrap up. You can find us, videogame.town, on every social media platform and YouTube and Instagram and Twitch and Blue Sky and TikTok. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Jared Russo. Grant, you're on Blue Sky.
Grant.videogame.town.
Okay, yeah.
All of that stuff you can find at videogame.town. And also, please, you're listening to us somehow. If you're listening to us in something like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, a podcatcher that has a way to rate us, please rate and review. Give us a high score. It makes a huge difference when people do that. It means more people can see the podcast, are exposed to it, and gives us an opportunity to reach more people. So please do that, especially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those are the ones that really, really matter.
And come to the website. Come visit. You click around.
Yeah, every weekday there's something new. So we make sure we have not missed a day since we launched in June 1st. We've kept cranking through.
There you go. There's nothing more to be said. I think we nailed it. Grant, I talk to you every day, but I will talk to you over the voice chat soon enough. I'm gonna go back to playing Tony Hawk. So thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Sweep.
Yes, sweep.